I hope your fans actually watch Shane Dawson, because if not, I'm just gonna look like a dickhead.
Well, they can Google it.
Hey, what's up, you guys? Yes, and
Whack me.
Welcome. You've just ruined it. Let me just do it again. Hey, what's up, you guys? Yes, and welcome to another Rishal video about mental health. Appendix 3, bitches. We are doing Appendix 3. And I've got my big hoops in. Well, they're squares. So you can't say that I'm a massive hoe bag, because they'd be round.
Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to episode 3, as Georgia just said. Episode 3.
Yeah, boy.
Yep.
Why
today.
can't we count to 3? Why is that hard for us to do?
Today, we're going to be talking about something very serious. We're going to try and be as calm and laid back as we possibly can to an extent that accommodates this topic. So today we're going to be talking about society, stigma and suicide.
I think most people would like to say that they're very accepting of it, but when you're actually faced with a question, they're like, it's like when you tell someone you're mentally ill or you have a mental health issue, they're like, oh, yeah, well, oh, okay, huh? They're not actually like, oh, okay, that's fine. Like, the stigma is still there because people are scared to talk about it. And then people are scared to talk about it because of the stigma. It's like a vicious circle and we need to sort of like stop it somewhere. Like from what we said in our first video. Yeah. Because there's no like definition. There's no like common understanding. Like a lot of people don't understand it. Hence where the stigma then kind of like is born from. I think a lot of people don't want to understand it though.
There are people that are like very obnoxious or like, what's the word? Patronising,
just all around
ignorant.
Dickheads. Too.
Ignorant, that's the word.
I was watching something the other day and I thought it was really, really cute. And it was like, all you need for a happy life is someone to love, something to do, and something to look forward to.
That is a good 3 steps.
How cute is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think where suicide is concerned, there's a lot of different opinions. And I'll start with my opinion first, okay? I do not in any way condone suicide. I would never say, bitch, do they know we're filming in here?
Fucking hell, by the way.
Fucking hell, by the way. I'm joking, I don't like that. Shut up, we're filming. I don't condone it. I would never advise someone to commit suicide.
Yeah.
I don't think it's good. But equally, the way I view it is that we just need to eliminate blame. The way I view it, I don't see that it's anyone else's fault. If you think of it specifically, yes, one person has took their life, and so you could view it as that. But I just think, what purpose does that serve? What purpose does it serve to say, this is your fault, this is your fault, this is your fault? I just don't feel like it actually serves a purpose. I don't think suicide is selfish. I really don't. I think there's the blame that we place on people either ruins lives or just spreads anger and hurt, and I don't think it's right. I think by blaming other people, we detach the actual issue, and that's that a human being has actually stopped breathing. Like, someone is never going to breathe again, never going to laugh again, never going to see their like family again. And that's sad, and I think that's more of an issue than saying you were to blame, or you were to blame, or society was to blame, or suicide is selfish. And it's just, the way I view the whole selfish thing is, for me right now, I feel like, yes, I have a choice not to commit suicide, but when you feel like you have no option, and you choose the only option, how is that selfish? People that commit suicide don't see it as, I can live or I can die, I can do this or I can do that. They feel like it's the only option, and therefore how is that selfish? How is it selfish to choose the only option that you feel you can take? And therefore I don't actually think it is
surely
selfish.
the term like selfish is selfish. You're being selfish if you're would like it impact someone else.
Yeah, and I think suicide does impact other people. It really, really
But
does.
at the end of the day, you have to think about it.
But let's just support them.
Yeah, because like at the end of the day, it's not selfish for the person.
Yeah.
Because they're not.
It's not
selfish. That's not the definition of being selfish.
Yeah, being selfish is putting yourself first. It's just.
It's normally for like good things.
Yeah.
You wouldn't do that to yourself if you were being selfish. So the whole misconception with that, and I think a lot of people don't talk about it and like don't look for help because they think they're a burden or they're like because of the stigma that society has about them or the misconception that people think, okay, just go get some help or always looking to be selfish. They're just thinking like they're trying to get attention, and that's the one that pisses me off the most. Like when people say that they're doing it for attention.
That pisses me off as well because it's like, yeah, okay, someone commits suicide to get attention,
but there's no attention.
But if they're dead, how are they going to get attention? Like it's just that it makes no sense. Like really, bitch. Like you've no. What I mean by I don't think suicide is selfish is that there's a bigger issue than blaming someone or labelling someone as something. The bigger issue is that someone has actually lost their life. So instead of saying you're selfish, you're to blame, or the family's to blame, actually let's look at what the deeper problem is and make a change. And calling people selfish is not going to stop people from committing suicide. It's just not going to help. So yeah, some people might think it's selfish, and I'm not going to argue with them at all. But it's just irrelevant. It's irrelevant. You can't. How does that support anyone that's lost a family member? How does that doesn't stop someone from committing suicide by saying it's selfish? Doesn't stop anyone from wanting to. It's just a one thing to make the fact that it's something people don't want to talk about easier. Person's selfish.
That's the problem with society as well. Like society won't talk about it. Like it's not like completely off limits, but it's such a cold subject like people don't want to talk about. I think that's an issue as well, even though like there's so much stuff coming out about mental health and that support and everything. But if I feel like genuinely like people are still like oblivious, even though there's so much stuff there. And
I know that there are problems which don't make people bad, and I think suicide is one of them things. And I stop the stigma is by telling people what's going on. It breaks my heart when I hear people say that people who are mentally ill are dangerous. It would hurt me to think that anyone would think I was a dangerous person just because of how I am in my brain. That hurts me so much, and part of that just comes from not knowing. And I just think it would be so much better if people actually knew what it meant to be mentally ill. And the same with suicide, actually knew what it meant.
Like some of the stuff that the media and like films and stuff say doesn't always help. Like mental health is portrayed either not at all in films or portrayed in films where they're either criminals
or don't even get me started.
But like they do something bad.
Mental health is a bad thing. Mental health is 110% a bad thing. There is nothing good about being mentally ill. That's the raw truth. But how we deal with it needs to be better. So actually treating people badly because they're mentally ill, that's where mental health becomes bad. And things like that. It's not just because someone's mentally ill, it's how we all perceive that and how that makes a person feel. And it's sort of like people become a disorder rather than just a person with disordered thinking, and it's where that sort of difference happens, where it becomes bad and where it becomes a problem. So like people commit crimes and they happen to have a mental disorder. People commit crimes and they happen to have had a cold 4 weeks ago. You don't hear that in the news. Do you know what I mean? In my opinion, it's the same sort of thing. I feel scared that people judge me with my opinions all the time, and it's not. I always worry that people hear me talking about suicide or about things like that, and people think that I'm saying that it's okay, or that people aren't hurt by suicide and that that's okay, but it's not what I mean. It's not. I just think that's such an... I just basically want to look at the bigger picture. The bigger picture of mental health is not who's to blame and who's selfish and who's a bad person. It's let's support them. And I feel like that's the issue with stigma, and that's the issue with how we view suicide. Suicide is fucking bad, and no one should ever, it's just horrible. It breaks my heart to think that people think that's the only option.
I think the government generally need to pump more money into like
oh my god,
mental health services, because there really isn't a lot.
This isn't coffee, by the way, it's blackcurrant. I don't know why I felt like I wanted people to know that. I don't drink coffee, so I just thought it was like...
Watching my figure.
Yeah, and just... no, because coffee makes you shit. Coffee makes you shit!
There you go, Beth. A reason to cut down on coffees.
I mean, she's got a cracking figure. It's doing wonders for her anyway.
I tell her this and she doesn't believe me. She's like, alright, you stop it. In a northern accent.
I thought I was going to say you sounded like Beth then. Oh man, Beth is beautiful. We've accidentally just told like all of the people that watch your videos about Beth's shitting habits without you.
Okay, society to tell them that it is.
Okay.
Well, society's not okay. Society's not okay. Society's not okay.
It's okay not to be okay.
Suicide is...
Unless you're society. No, I'm joking, I'm joking.
Suicide is not a good thing.
No, it's not at all. It's the worst thing.
In terms of...
Someone's dead.
Exactly. And the people you leave behind.
Yeah.
But there's nothing... I don't know.
There is literally just... There's no point in blame. There's no point in labelling someone as a bad person because they've committed suicide. Because that doesn't help anyone.
We need to help people not get to that stage in their life.
Yeah, and we need to help the people it affects after. Rather than putting more blame on their lost ones. I think just stigma just detaches the whole, like, personality.
And I think it just makes people scared of talking about it, and that's such a big issue.
We talk about things so much, so little, that when we do talk about them, we detach away from the fact that these are real people, it's a real issue. Mental health becomes a thing, it doesn't actually become personal people living personal lives. And it's the same with suicide. Again, who does it help by saying that person's selfish? No one.
It's the whole... This is the label thing that we're talking about.
Yeah.
It's just we label everything.
We have to, and why?
Like, we do it because we're human beings, but...
It's how we make sense of things in our head.
But to the extent that labels are harmful...
Yeah.
And harm people for... I think...
It
will harm people more that there is help, but... I don't know, it's hard to like talk, it's hard to like frame.
It's hard to say it, yeah.
Because you can't...
Read my blog!
You can't go... Yes, read a blog, I'll link it down below.
I write it.
You can't like... It's hard to talk about because you don't want to say anything wrong. If you need help, there's always people to speak to. 100%. More than there was like 10 years ago. So always...
100%. Always talk.
You know...
Even if it's something good, this is what I like about, do you know, like the time to talk days,
yeah.
And it's like you can talk about things, and it's like, yeah, you can talk about things that have gone wrong, but talk about things that have gone good as well. Talk about things gone good. Talk about things that make you happy. Do things that make you happy. It's time to talk about bad things, yeah, but it's time to talk about good things, about your success and what makes you happy. That's how we'll save everyone.
Yeah, we hope that this has been insightful as per the other two. This one's been the hardest one to do, hasn't it? Because it's quite hard to talk about.
The more it holds the ability to actually upset more people. Hope that you guys stay happy, love yourself, love each other, talk about things.
If you can't love yourself, then how the hell are you going to love somebody else? Can I get an amen?
I feel like you want me to say it. Oh, is it RuPaul? I don't watch RuPaul Drag Race.
I thought you did.
I watched a couple of episodes. I love it though, but I just never watch it. I've loved the episodes that I do watch.
Bye.